Hello everyone and welcome back to the YouTube channel, Duval Mafia here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a quick overview of the offensive staff that Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke are essentially building for the Jacksonville Jaguars offense heading into 2022. And to get right into this, they hired Mike McCoy as the quarterbacks coach, and this is a good hire for me. His most notable work was actually in San Diego, who are now the LA Chargers, but the San Diego Chargers from 2013 to 2016, he was their head coach. And during that tenure, he went 9-7 in 2013, 9-7 in 2014, 4-12 in 2015, and then 5-11 in 2016. He, of course, worked with Philip Rivers. Everybody knows who Philip Rivers is. And he had an overall record of 27-37, which isn't that great. But considering he's only the quarterback's coach, I'm not too worried about this. It's not like he's going to be running the offense. It's not much. He's essentially here to help develop Trevor Lawrence. That's mainly what his role is going to be. And essentially through his entire coaching career, which began in 2000 as a quarterback's coach in Carolina, he's always been on the offensive side of the ball, whether it's as a quarterback's coach, a wide receivers coach, or a passing game coordinator, or even as an offensive coordinator for the Broncos in 2017 and then the Cardinals in 2018. Essentially what I'm trying to get at with this is he's always been on the offensive side of the ball. He's an offensive mind, and being the quarterback's coach, I like this fit for him. He's a former quarterback. He's been working with quarterbacks his entire career, essentially, as a coach and as a player. This is a good thing. This is a very positive signing for me. I know Mike McCoy has a very up and down background, and a lot of people were very iffy on him, and I'm also very iffy on him. But since he's, again, only the quarterback coach, he's not the offense coordinator, he's not the head coach, he's not the passing game coordinator, he's none of that stuff. He's simply just here to help Trevor Lawrence, and I like that move. I think he's a good football mind to help Trevor Lawrence, help see the field through Trevor Lawrence's eyes, being a former quarterback, and overall this just helps him a lot with development. And now to jump into the next guy, it's actually going to be Bob Cooter, who is now the passing game coordinator, which I like this one as well. So the most coaching Bob Cooter did was between 2015 and 2018. He was the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. And in these years, for passing yards wise, in 2015 they were 9th overall, 2016 they were 11th overall, 2017 they were 6th overall, and then 2018 they were 20th overall. And I could talk about the overall offense due to he was the offensive coordinator, but since we hired him as a passing game coordinator, I'm not going to really touch on the running backs and the rushing offensive side of it, because honestly he's not going to be working with that anyways. But overall, I mean, they did have a close to top 10 passing offense 3 out of the 4 seasons with him. And of course he did get fired in 2018 with a 20th ranked overall yards wise, which isn't the best. But overall, through his coaching career, which he began in 2007, he started as a graduate assistant in college in 2007 and 2008 at Tennessee. Then he became the offensive assistant for 3 years in Indianapolis. Then he became the quality control coordinator in 2012 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Then he went to Denver and became the offensive assistant there. Then he went to Detroit, became the quarterback coach. And then eventually in 2015, he was still the quarterback coach, and then he took over as interim offensive coordinator, which he proceeded to be for the next 3 years. And then in 2019, he actually joined the New York Jets as a running back coach. And then he stayed there for the last 2 years, and that's kind of an odd one for me. I don't really fully understand why he did that, because throughout his entire coaching career, he was always with the passing side of it. So I'm not really too sure about that one, but I don't know. It's the New York Jets. I take it as you will. I can understand why they haven't been good, because he's not a good running back coach in my eyes. And I love this hire as a passing game coordinator because Bob Cooter is another former quarterback. I mean, he's another guy to help Trevor once again. I mean, you can see the theme with this. They're trying to help Trevor and help his development. I like this theme a lot, and I like where Doug Peterson's going with this staff. And Bob Cooter is only 37 years old. He's still young, so he's still not at his coaching peak. He's not an old head. He's not an old mind. I like this hire a lot as a passing game coordinator. And then to get into the biggest part of this is Press Taylor, who was hired as the offensive coordinator. And seeing this hiring, to me, it tells me that Doug Peterson is most likely going to be calling plays on the offensive side of the football. And what makes me say this is because realistically, Press Taylor is only 34 years old, and he actually just turned 34 in January. But him being this young, it shows me that basically what Doug Peterson doing is hiring a young offense coordinator who has shown that he understands how to come up with great plays and he understands what he's doing. But on the other side of it, it's somebody who's still, like I said, very young, so it makes me believe that Doug Peterson will end up calling the plays, but he'll have a little bit of mixture of Press Taylor's mind and his style into it, basically infused into it, if that makes sense. So it'll probably overall be a mixture of both, because the thing that Press Taylor is actually most known for is in 2017 he was the offensive quality control and assistant quarterback coach, and believe it or not, he's actually the one who was the mind behind the Philly special. It came out that that was something that he really drew up and he came up with. It was an idea that he showed everybody and basically came up with, and it eventually came out in the Super Bowl on the biggest stage and was successful. So that actually is pretty impressive to me, considering at that time he was 30 years old, he was very young, and for him to have that confidence to come up with that play and show it to Doug Peterson, then Doug Peterson to have the trust in him to actually use the play, it shows both sides are very on the same page from an offensive mind standpoint, and I like this a lot. And to get into what Press Taylor has done, he was a graduate assistant at Tulsa from 2011 to 2012. Then he became the Philadelphia Eagles offensive quality control coach in 2013 to 2015. Then in 2016 to 2017, he was the offensive quality control and assistant quarterbacks coach. Then in 2018 to 2019, he was the quarterbacks coach. 2020, he was the passing game coordinator and quarterback coach. And then in 2021, he actually became the senior offensive assistant for the Indianapolis Colts. And now, of course, in 2022, he's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive coordinator. And I do like this opportunity for him. I think he has a lot of room to grow. This is a very good... I actually love this from a future standpoint, because Doug Peterson is bringing in somebody who's a young, modern offensive mind that can really help him mold this playbook that ultimately Doug Peterson, even though he's probably going to be putting together the playbook, you still have Press Taylor, and his mind is going to be infused into the playbook. It'll make it a lot more modern. And overall, I think that allows Doug Peterson to have a lot more success here. That's how I really view it. And overall, I do like this hiring a lot. And for the three hirings, the three grades I will give, Press Taylor, I'll give a B, because there was better options out there in my mind. But I do like Press Taylor. I think it's a great fit from a Doug Peterson standpoint. They obviously have worked together in the past, and they probably are very familiar with each other. Bob Cooter, I'll give a B as well. I like this one. Again, there's probably better options out there, but I do like what Bob Cooter brings. He's a young mind, and he's probably going to help build upon this passing game with the wide receivers, the tight ends, and of course Trevor Lawrence. And then the Mike McCoy hiring, I'm probably going to give it a C+. It's not a great hiring to me, but I do like that he's only quarterback coach, and he is a very smart offensive mind. So him having this strict of a role, which is literally just quarterback coach, meaning that that's his main focus, is helping Trevor Lawrence and ultimately helping Trevor Lawrence develop and learn plays and stuff like that. I do like that that's strictly his role. And even though I don't really particularly like Mike McCoy as a coach, I think this is a good role for him, especially with a young talent like Trevor Lawrence. I think he has the wherewithal and the knowledge to ultimately help him grow. And overall, I think this is a good staff. If you add in Doug Peterson into the mix as head coach, this is overall a very well-rounded staff. And you can tell the staff is built around developing Trevor Lawrence, because Mike McCoy, Bob Cooter, and Press Taylor are all quarterback minds. They played quarterback, whether it was in high school, college, or wherever, but they were all former quarterbacks. So what this tells you is the Jaguars' number one priority is developing Trevor Lawrence ultimately. They're trying to get former quarterbacks that will see the field the same way as Trevor Lawrence does, and basically make his transition into the NFL, which he is continuing to do, as easy as possible and as comfortable as possible. And I like this a lot. It shows you that the Jaguars are really focused on their cornerstone piece of their franchise, which is Trevor Lawrence. And with that being said, I am going to wrap up this video. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. If you are new, make sure to subscribe. And as always, peace out, Duval.